All right. We got some Xbox updates. That's gonna be more than likely the rest of the podcast here for you guys. So, Joel, we talked about the struggles, sales struggles that Xbox has experienced, but now there are developers out there saying, and this was commented during GDC that was going on this past week, that a lot of developers are saying that they don't know why they even bother putting their game on Xbox because they don't sell.
Hmm.
They're saying that the vast majority of their sales are PC and PS5, and Xbox is way behind. Is an afterthought when it comes to their sales. And then what's interesting is we see more Japanese developers like I know that they Sega has been doing a really big push on Xbox now, and even Square Enix is rumored, like there's rumors that Final Fantasy 16 is coming out on Xbox, and that's great, right? But is is it worth spending a few extra $1 million porting this game to Xbox just to sell a couple thousand copies? Like
Right.
at some point, developers need to start weighing in um, the return on investment, unless like this game's like right off the bat hit Game Pass and they have that incentive, but they have to be at release, right? So it seems like on Xbox right now, if it's not coming out on Game Pass, it's not gonna do well. That seems to be the trend. And of course, Game Pass. I'm not gonna comment on how much money they make or don't make because I don't know, right?
Right.
But I would assume that for a developer, they would rather sell 100,000 copies of their game than have 100,000 plays on Game Pass, right? Um, it. I saw another again. There's updated charts today, saying that the Series X has been selling really, really bad. Like the Series S is the one that's actually moving, and then the Series X is really
Yeah.
not like moving at all. And we'll talk about the handhelds here in a second, but just going back to this, Ben, what do you think?
Well, it's no surprise to us. This isn't something where I think Microsoft could sit back and be like, "Oh, I can't believe it. How is this or how are people saying this behind our backs? And how is this the way we're being perceived?" It's backed by data. I mean, we've been talking about this ever since, 2020, 2021, when these consoles started to get moved into the market. Look, if they don't change their strategy, if they don't do things differently, this is the future that they will be facing. Writing's on the wall. So it's
Right.
unfortunate when it starts to rub other publishers and other creators the wrong way, because they're the ones that you should have in mind when you're developing units. Is how can we make them happy to get their games on our systems, and then from there, how do we get the consumer to be happy with it too, right? If you build great games, the consumers will follow.
Right.
If you build great hardware, the consumers will follow. The Xbox Series X is great hardware. We talk about this ad nauseum, but
Yeah.
like it's a phenomenal machine. There's been no major issues with that. We're well past the 360 days, the red rings of death. I mean, that's all in the past. So like, where it is now, um, I don't know. We've said it multiple times, but Phil Spencer,
It may, yeah.
yeah, this is it, man.
It may be maybe time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Xbox will survive. It just has
Right.
to evolve,
Yeah.
which we'll
Yeah.
talk about
They
here in a
they
bit.
gotta.
But
And I know that PlayStation is going through their own thing right now, but
true.
it like it seems like they have a clear path on when they're going. I mean, it does help
Yeah.
when you're leading, right? It's like so you don't have to because you don't have to start. You just keep going, right? It's like if you're
Yeah.
leading, you just keep trucking. You don't need to like do different things like Xbox been doing,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it's tough. I mean, we've been saying it for a long time, and you know, whenever the third party rumor thing started happening, what a month and a half ago or whatever,
Yeah.
and we talked about it when all those rumors were happening. It's like it's. I mean, a lot of the stuff that's been rumored out there, it does have some validity. It's like when you think about it at the end of the day, because you know they're not moving the consoles. They're not moving to the way they hoped to be moving at the time right now. So you know there's still getting outsold 2-1. The Switch is like still like almost 140 million. Like they're 138
Yeah.
and a half or something. So
Yeah.
they're probably gonna do at the end of the day PS2 numbers, and that's why they don't. My concern with the Switch right now is that they delay the whatever's coming up next, and that ends up hurting them in the long run when it comes to the devices specs. Like it's gonna be too little, too late, kind of thing. That's what
Yeah.
I'm afraid of, right?
Yeah.
Because there's fewer for it right now. Like people
Hmm.
really want this console, and you're just
Hmm.
holding off. So that sounds like Super NES stuff to me. Like it's like why are you doing this? It's like you just release it, dude. It's like they've had Super NES ready since Mario 3 came out, and they still waited like 2 years. Well, here, right in Japan, it came out
Sure.
what 1990. Here was like a year later, but it's they come on, like they if people want it, it's like a supply and demand, right? It's like if people want it, um, might as well go ahead and do it. The problem and that they're also having the original Nintendo is by holding this thing back, we're seeing more and more PC handhelds. There's rumors about a handheld. We'll talk about that now. So, you know, so you have all these other devices that will be competing with your device, and you're still like, oh no, we're still selling, we're still good, let's keep trucking, and that's great. But they have to make the choice. Like they have to jump in and do something, right? Um, I don't think it's gonna be too little too late. I think that people are still gonna go crazy and buy it, but yeah, a few different rumors with the Xbox handheld. Like there's rumors that Xbox is gonna do a handheld. There's rumors that Xbox Series X is gonna be able to run games off of Steam. There's many different rumors going on right now, but we'll just talk about the handheld for now. So yeah, they asked Phil Spencer, and he said you know that he would love to do that, right?
Yeah.
And you know he wants to be able to boot up. His quote was, "I want to be able to boot into Xbox app, into the Xbox app full screen, but in a compact mode, and all my social experiences there. Like I want to feel my dash bar, my dash. I want it to feel like the dash of my Xbox when I turn on the television, except it's on one of those devices. So either Xbox is going to partner with someone and do a device, or they very well could they do their own. Like they do have the capability to do their own thing. Um, I think this would be great. I think the handheld market is about to explode in a way
Yes.
that we've never seen before.
Yes.
So, what do you think of this? What do you think of the PlayStation Portal, and what do you think? Which is still selling very well
I
from what I understand.
I want it more and more as
So,
time goes on.
and do you think PlayStation is gonna actually jump in with a proper handheld?
Um, Eventually, maybe. They won't be the first mover. They would be reactionary in that standpoint. Microsoft trying to jump in and say like we know Nintendo is kind of our main competition in this space now. Like
Right.
let's come in and bring really a completely different experience because as we've talked ad nauseum, Nintendo and the Switch is not known for being this, you know, uh, high graphics intensive, RPG style, handheld console that can bring those kind of games a certain way. Like it's very different. It's very adventure. It's very family friendly. It's very like either 2D or 3D games sometimes. But with this, like you're looking at something that's gonna bring a more uh, teen adult kind of experience to a handheld, and there's a market for it clearly. What it even does when you have a handheld and brings that over to also the international market, probably very good. They've
Right.
struggled, as we've talked about before, selling these consoles overseas. Um, Handhelds are clearly high in demand. The PlayStation Portal sold first extremely well overseas. We're seeing it move here, but it moved with great passion overseas in a way that was not anticipated, and the
Right.
reaction has been very positive. Like this is a great business stand back, a great business move to stand back and say, there's a demand for these things. Let's give it a try. Will they develop their own hardware? Will they partner with someone else? Doesn't matter. But I do think that them getting in it is the right way to go.
Right. Man, like I'm not gonna lie, because I actually looked it up a few weeks ago, but I was actually looking at like the ROG Ally. It's like that seems like a pretty decent like handheld. And
Yeah,
I was thinking
yeah.
of grabbing one. It's like, I mean, if I
It's
had
reviewed well.
if I hadn't had to spend 6 grand on a water heater, I would probably, I would have gotten it.
Oh, life.
But yeah, exactly. Um, and I started looking at, specs and accessories, and I was like, oh man, this thing is nice. It looks pretty good, and just running games. I'm not gonna run like anything like too crazy, right? I
Yeah,
just wanted
yeah.
something. See, and that's the thing. Going back to Nintendo, it's like, in my mind, I'm like, I just want something a little bit more powerful than the Switch,
Mm-hmm.
which Nintendo could give me with backwards compatibility,
Correct.
which would completely eliminate the need for me to get a ROG Ally. But if I'm willing to spend 400 on a ROG Ally, um,
Yeah.
and Nintendo comes over and is like, "Hey, I got this $400 console that is as powerful as a ROG Ally," um, then we're good, right? So that's the clear choice for me
Right.
would be going that way. Um, but I man, they look real good. I think the Steam Deck looks like a little too thick and chunky for me for my liking.
Yeah.
I think it's a great device. It's just that aesthetically it doesn't really look very nice. The
Yeah.
ROG Ally looks better. What's the other one? There's another one coming out. Handheld,
Live fact checking with no load time. That's what we do,
game
guys. We don't just spit out comments without
console.
fact checking first. The ROG Ally is nice. The Stream
Yeah,
Deck just looks like it's kind of uncomfortable in your hands.
it
Like it
seems
does
that
have
way.
a
Yeah,
nice, like, yeah, great library and
right. Oh,
powerful.
the Lenovo, because the Lenovo is the one that I saw.
Okay.
The Lenovo, the
Okay.
Legion Go. That's the one I saw at Best Buy last week. I went to Best Buy
Yeah.
last week and I saw it. Um, and that one's big. That one looks like a premium product though. That one looks real nice. But I just like aesthetically, I like the ROG Ally better. And the other one's the Logitech G Cloud, which that one is like a Xbox Game Cloud kind of streaming
Right.
device almost.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a few, a few devices out there, and now you have an exploding market of like no like Anbernic and all this like smaller Miu, all this like smaller like micro consoles like with
Right.
10,000 games on it that you can buy on Amazon for $60. And there's a huge explosion on those. Those are becoming increasingly popular. And of course, you got the Portal. So, and then there's the Portal. Joe,
Which it's nice.
it looks
Like
very
it's
nice.
it's expensive. It's expensive. That's what holds me back.
Yeah, I mean it's 200. Um, and you don't get anything.
No.
You get to remote play your PS5. That's it. So that one's a tough sell for me, man. Because it's like if I want to play PS5, I want to play on the big TV, right? And I totally get it. I totally get that there's a market for this, right? If you want to play while you're on your bed, but that's it. Like you can't leave your
Well,
house with it.
you could. It's just you better be at another person's house or another institution that has good enough Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Like you
Yeah.
like if I'm like for someone like me, I visit family and if I'm visiting them and I don't have access to my place, it'd be nice to be able to just I got this.
Right.
Great. Wi-Fi is the PS5 is wired in here. Visit them. I've got that there. Like that's a great opportunity. If I'm someone who's maybe going to a university and like I can connect to that Wi-Fi, it's decent enough. If you're doing it remote play like that, you're not trying to play something too crazy. You're just trying to play something that's probably good enough. I don't
Right.
know. Thinking, I'm thinking of, I don't know. Like you're probably okay with playing like The Last of Us, but you're not going to be playing like a big online game or something like that because it's kind of two extra steps of latency and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then you got other devices again, like I mentioned, the small devices like the Retroid and all that. But yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people are
Yeah.
like, it's coming. It seems like the whole handheld thing is making a big comeback. It's like, where's the? It's like, and then there's the Vita, right? It's like the
Right.
Vita has more features than all these things put together, and oh man, it's so sad. The Vita's so good.
Yeah.
The Vita is such a good little console. I put hundreds of hours on mine. It's back here. It's not going anywhere. I love that thing. So it's just that I'm Vitas are so expensive right now, and the games are so expensive that I just don't want to take it with me anywhere, and I just leave it here, right? I used to bring it. I used to. I mean, I used to have it in my
Yeah.
backpack, in my work
Oh yeah.
backpack. So, but now it's like, I just like these things are really expensive, and I don't want it to get broken or lose it or something. It has a 32 gig card. I can mod it, right? Whatever. But yeah, man, it's tough. I wanna, I want a big boy handheld. Like I want
Like
a new Switch.
iPad level.
No,
Like if
no,
you have
no, not that big, but like again, going back to the ROG Ally, like I really like the Ally.
yeah.
I like the form factor. I like that it's beefy and you can run PC games and yeah. So I want something like that, but I also want Nintendo
Wait,
games on
you
it.
don't want a Wii U?
I don't want a Wii U. I don't want a Wii U, Joe.
That
What
was
are you
that was that was one where Nintendo stumbled.
talking about? Oh yeah, PSA Wii U services. I guess ending this weekend. The
Yep.
Wii U and 3DS. So
It's been a good run.
if you yeah on the 3DS was, but Wii U we could probably differ on that, sir. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. And if Microsoft jumps in, right, I'm sure Sony will probably do their own proper handheld at some point.
Ah,
I've been saying it, dude. You don't need to go crazy. You can have, and this is what's rumored for the new Switch is like PS4 Pro level of graphics. You can have a miniaturized PS4 Pro. Taking and if you have
pro-
all your PS4 library, you can bring it over digital library and right.
you can
So
make exclusives for that too, because
and you
I'm
can
sure
make new
plenty of
games.
developers are happy with making
Totally.
PS4 type games.
You can downport games, yeah, because you can still get like God of War and Horizon in there. So
Right.
heck yeah, man. And then the last bit of news that we have concerning Xbox is that more pictures leaked of the diskless white Xbox Series X console, which was at some point said that it was going to look like a cylinder. This looks just like a regular Series X without the disk drive and is color white. Um, no info on pricing. My guess is that this thing's probably going to be like $399 because this
The
is a leak.
Expedia says it's $50 or $100 less than the 499.
Yeah,
So yeah,
well
four fifty or three or 400.
you can find refurb Series X's right now for like 320 or something. They're
Yeah,
not really that expensive, which is insane that you can find them for that price.
yeah,
Um, but I don't see it. So what I think they're gonna do is probably they're gonna permanently price drop the 1 terabyte Series S to 299, price drop the regular Series S to 250, and then have this one at 399.
yeah.
So I think that's probably what we're looking at. More than likely, this thing's coming out for Christmas. Is this thing different? We don't know. It seems like it's the same based on information that's out there. It does have like a revised heatsink.
Yeah.
So it does have some revised stuff, but Microsoft said it during their the Nothing press conference when they were talking about the games that they are working on like a proper follow up. Is that going to come out this year? PS5 Pro, there was talks about it during GDC. That's supposed to be coming out this year. So what's going to happen? Right? Is this thing coming out? Yeah. Well, this thing's coming out for like, if this thing may come out even like summer of this year, dude.
Hmm.
Like honestly speaking, and then probably by the end of the year we'll get whatever the follow up is to the Series X proper. So maybe this model is going to be what the Series S will become,
Mm.
and then Series S is going to go away, and then this is going to take over, and then we'll get a 499 console with like upgrades. So you know could be maybe they'll price this at 350, and then price the other one at 500 to the fish cover the price range. If I don't know, we'll see, man. But what do you think of the design? White looks good on it.
Yeah, I looked at this and I was like, huh, interesting. You guys going white, the same color of when a PS5 was at launch. Obviously, you can get your different shells, but
Right.
still quite fascinating. I like it. I like the look of it. I like that it's a reduced price point. What that price point is, I'm very curious to see. I thought the same as you. Like, this is probably going to replace the Series S and the X as we have it right now, or we'll probably replace both, and then the X that's currently now will be more of like an X Pro, essentially, like you're saying, like that next kind of follow up in between there. I feel like they'll probably drop both of those, and then this is if this is priced right, like if this is something that you do have that's technically more of around your Series S price point, you'll get this to sell very well.
Yeah.
Because you'll say the new white, all digital, completely powerful thing. So yeah, I think it's a good try, good attempt. Hopefully, they don't screw this one up.
We'll see. We gotta see those games, man. Like we gotta see those games. Which, by the way, I gotta eat crow because I haven't bought Hi-Fi Rush yet because I'm in the middle of Final Fantasy. But when I'm done, I promise you guys that I will will buy Hi-Fi Rush on PlayStation. I will get it. I will get it. I'm out of my word. It's just that I gotta take care of Final Fantasy first.
Totally.
And hoping to finish that before Elden Ring comes out. The expansion for Elden Ring comes out. If not,
Sheesh.
then after that, then I'll play Hi-Fi Rush. But at some
Right.
point, sometime this year, I will get it. I promise.